الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين شفيع المذنبين رحمة للعالمين مولانا وسيدنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرض مولانا حجة ابن الحسن عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين إمام علي عليه الصلاة والسلام اللهم صل على محمد ما لله آية هي أكبر مني ولا نبأ هي أعظم مني. My respected elders, brothers, sisters, respected scholars, we have been discussing the importance of idhtirar, that the central point, the core point during the time of the ghaibat of Imam is for a mu'min to develop a sense of idhtirar. Idhtirar is the game changer. Idhtirar will lead us to, inshallah, the rescue that has been promised at the hands of Imam Zaman. And it will lead us to gaining closeness, and proper intizar of the Imam can only come through idhtirar. Hence we have termed these lectures as yearning for Imam Zaman, building a connection with the master of the time. These lectures are to remember Imam Zaman, to feel a sense of closeness towards him, and to develop an attachment towards him. Now tonight we are going to look at a very important question. Yesterday we answered one of the questions which was unspoken. I assume that many had this question. Today there is another question which I am going to address, which is Aslan, what is the meaning of idhtirar? Why should we have idhtirar? As I said in one of the previous lectures, if you feel everything is very okay and everything is good, then what idhtirar will you have? So what kinds of idhtirar are there, and how do we navigate these different types of idhtirar? Where are they placed? Inshallah, that is our discussion for tonight, with the barakat of a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma sallallahu. The first type of idhtirar, Azizan, is when a person has idhtirar for his worldly needs. Worldly needs. Most of the time, to be honest with you, our worldly needs, generally speaking, are taken care of, or we have a way to take care of them. Generally speaking, if we don't have money, there are ways that we can apply for different schemes, etc., to gain money. Generally speaking, we have food on the table. Generally speaking, we have a roof over the head. Generally speaking, we have a bed to sleep in at night. Generally speaking, we are able to attend to our basic needs in general. If someone doesn't have this way, if someone doesn't have their basic needs independently, then definitely there are ways that we know how to get these things done. However, there are times when life takes a bad turn. Life takes a bad turn. When we have things, we are happy. We don't remember Allah much in that sense. We do all the ritualistic things. We go through life. We worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it's a kind of maybe ibadat without a kind of spirit. When things get difficult, what happens? Now we are hungry, but we don't have access to food. We want somewhere to live, but we don't have a roof over our heads. We are lonely, we are emotional, we have emotional needs, we have other needs, we don't have a family to share with. We are in need of izzat and honor and respect, which is one of the needs of a human being, but we don't have people who give us izzat and honor and respect. Wherever we turn, we are feeling disrespected, for example. So when these things happen, what happens to a person? He will go, again, because it's our habit, we don't see Allah in the solutions. Allah is actually the solution to everything. Allah is the provider for everything, but we don't tend to see it. So what we'll do is, typically we go after asbab-e-zahiri. The normal apparent causes, we'll go after them. So when we're ill, doctor. When we have money issues, we'll go, for example, to friends and family, community, whatever it is. When we have, for example, family issues, then, we'll reach out to our family members and we'll seek help from there. We'll reach out to community, for example. Now I'll ask you, when every door closes, what happens? Then you become mustar. But your idhtirar is for what? It is for worldly things. Let's be honest here. It is for worldly things. You need money, you need something physical, you need something worldly, you become mustar. And believe me, in this worldly sense, you become mustar, you have idhtirar, you do your ibadat, you do your namaz, you do your du'as, you do your tawassul, you do all of these things, and it's more heartfelt, isn't it? It's more deep in the heart. It's more concentrated. Okay? So this is one level of idhtirar. Now, Quran makes mention of this. Quran says that there are some people that when they need us, they'll call out to us. فَإِذَا رَكِبُوا فِي الْفُلْكِ دَعَوُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. He gives the example of sailors in a ship, that when they board the ship, traveling in a ship now as well as before especially, was very dangerous. So when they sail in their ships and when they board their ships and when they face choppy waters, what do? They invoke Allah, putting exclusive faith in Him. مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. They become very mukhlis, they become very sincere. Why? Well, now I have a need of God. I really feel the need. In the middle of the sea, when there is nothing else that can come to your aid, when the waves are crashing all around you, when the waters are dangerous, what do? You reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because there is no other. Even asbab-e-zahiri doesn't exist. Even those apparent means don't exist. So you call out to Allah. Then He helps you. He rescues you. He gets you to dry land. He gets you where you need to go. فَلَمَّا نَجَّاهُمْ. When He rescues them and reaches them to their home onto dry land, what do? إِلَى الْبَرِّ, onto dry land. إِذَا هُمْ يُشْرِكُونَ. Then they start again associating partners with us. In other words, they forget that sincerity-filled dua. Now again they go back to normal. My money comes from my boss. My health comes from my doctor. My food, for example, comes from the market. My needs are fulfilled by these asbab-e-zahiri. All of a sudden he starts to make partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So insan is like this. Insan, in his worldly life, he can become mustar. He can have a sense of idhtirar. Now what some people do is they say, we need Imam for this. We need Imam for this. We need Imam to come and relieve the poverty. We need Imam to come and improve the health. We need Imam to help us with our family issues. We need Imam to come and help, for example, husband and wife are not getting along. We need Imam. Yes. That is the first level of idhtirar. Question, is it valid or not? Is it good or not? Is it a good thing to have idhtirar for Imam for worldly reasons or not? The answer is yes, it is good. Don't let anyone come and say that it's not good. No one should come and say that, yes, this is actually something very bad. Don't do this. No. I'll explain why. Azizane Muhtaram, everyone is at a different level in their lives. Every single person is at a different level in their lives. If someone has a link to religion through this way, through this means, it is not wrong. It is not wrong. It is not wrong to do this. We have in hadith, beseech Allah, even if it is for the salt in your food and the laces in your shoes. Beseech Allah even for the salt in your food and the laces in your shoes. So it's not wrong. Don't let anyone come and tell another person that this is wrong, you should not be doing it like this. It's not wrong. Is it the best? Is it the purest? Is it the best way to do things? No. It is not wrong, but there are better ways of doing it. Hadith says when you even need the salt in your food and the laces on your shoes, you should beseech Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, now we have to be a little bit honest with ourselves. Azizane Girami, there were times in your lives, my life, or everyone's life, that maybe we were in a sad situation on a worldly level. Nothing is happening, nothing is working. What do? We say, okay, I'm going Mashhad now. I need to speak to Imam Raza. I'm going Karbala, I need to speak to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Why? Worldly life is not going well. When we get there, what do we say? I want my business to flourish. Mawla, make my rizq increase. Mawla, I want a good family life. Mawla, guide my children. Mawla, do this and that. Generally speaking, we go and we pour our heart out for worldly reasons. There was a person who went to Masjid Jamkaran. Masjid Jamkaran is near Qum. And Tuesday night, I won't go into the history of Masjid Jamkaran. Tuesday night, Khulasatul Kalam is this, that Tuesday night, Masjid Jamkaran is that special night where it is emphasized to go and do your a'amal, and people, it is said, have seen Imam Sahib al-Asri wal Zaman, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. And there is an a'amal to do. So Tuesday night in Jamkaran, you can expect roughly 100,000, 1 lakh manaso on a Tuesday night will attend Jamkaran. Now, on one occasion, one of the mu'mineen was in Jamkaran. And he's looking around and he's seeing people crying, weeping, tawassul, istighasa, al-ajal, Allahumma ajil li waliyik al-faraj, reciting all these du'as, du'a tawassul, everything is being recited. And he's thinking, he has a thought in his mind. He's like, so many ashiqeen, so many lovers of Imam Zaman. I wish Imam Zamana comes. I wonder why he is not coming. They say that person, actually, as he's having these thoughts, Imam Zaman approaches him. Imam Zaman approaches him. He says, Mawla, so many people in love with you, so many people tamne pukare che, so many people are beseeching you, asking for you, crying out to you, Mawla, why don't you come? He says, let me show you something. And he takes his daste karam, he takes his kind hand, he puts it over the person's face, and he, I guess, in an unveiling of the deeper senses, he shows him the ghaib, the hidden. For a moment, he shows him, and he says, now look and see, what are the people saying actually? And the person begins to hear and listen and understand the du'as of the people. Now one person is saying, Ya Imam, I need a new sofa. Oh Imam, come and help me. One person is saying, oh Imam, my car is broken down. Oh Imam, come and help me. One person is saying, oh Imam, I want to travel. I don't have enough money to travel. Come and help me. Imam says to him, tell me, how many of these people are actually here for me, and how many are actually here for their own needs? It's a big difference. It's a big difference. As we go along, you'll see. How many of these people are actually here for me? How many people are here for their own needs? It is not wrong. Azizane Girami, let me emphasize this. I'm not saying it's wrong, because some people, their only link with Imam Zaman is through their worldly needs. Their only link is through these kinds of du'as. So we don't want to break that for anyone. May Allah bless those people. May He reward them. May He take them higher and higher in their levels of iman. We don't want to break that link with anyone, because if you break that link, if you say, no, Imam is not there for these worldly things, they'll say, okay, then higher, take your religion. I have no more use of this religion. So we have to be very careful. It is not wrong to do these things. But it's not the best. It is not the purest. It is not the best way to do these things. Haj Ismail Dulabi, great personality, he's now passed away, rahmatullah alayhi, may Allah bless his soul. Haj Ismail Dulabi, not an educated man in the conventional sense of the word educated, not an alim, not a hawzavi, not a scholar, not someone who has many letters after his name, not someone who has studied formally as such, but he was a very special personality. They say one of his attributes was he used to be able to speak with Imam Rida alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Haj Ismail Dulabi says that Imam Rida says, tell the people, why do they only bring their sadness and grief to me? Whenever they visit me, they visit for sadness and grief. This is not going right, this is not going right, this is not right, this is not right. When they have sadness and grief, they come to me. Tell the people, bring your happiness as well. Bring your happiness as well. Typically we go to Imam Hussein, we go to Imam Riza alayhi salam. Typically I would say, we go when we have problems, when we have issues in life. When do we ever go and just say, oh Imam, I'm so happy today, I've come to thank you, or I've come to share my happiness with you. So Haj Ismail Dulabi, he says this, he says, Imam Riza says, why do you always bring your gham and andu, and your gham and your ham and your issues to Imam Riza? Bring your happiness as well. He wants to see you smile as well. Imam Riza alayhi salam wants to see you smile as well. One of the ulama says that he was a student in Fayziya of Qum. And he was in a very bad situation. He was a very, very sad, very poor situation, where even his basic needs were not being met. His basic food and heat and that kind of thing was not being met. So he says, you know what, I have no other option. I'm going to write to Imam Asr. So he writes Ariza. He says, I wrote this Ariza, I wrote my issues to Imam, and by the time I just finished the Ariza, I heard a knock on the door. I went, I opened the door, a man was standing there with his face covered. Probably he didn't want anyone to know who he was. His face was covered, and he said, here are those things that you have asked for. And he gave me a bag of ration of things that I had asked for, these basic needs. And then he added something. He says, here is what you have asked for, but don't call on Hazrat just for a few kilos of meat and a few grams of oil. Hazrat is more than this. So the first level of idhtirar to Wali Zaman, Wali Khuda, Imam Zaman, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, is to have idhtirar for our worldly needs. It is not wrong, but we can go better than this. Someone may say, well, if it's not for worldly needs, then what is it for? Why do the Imams come? If they're not here to improve our worldly lives, then why have they come? Well, one of the reasons they have come, Azizan, is that they wanted to create a very special kind of person. They wanted to create someone very, very special. Allah created someone very special, the Holy Prophet. The Holy Prophet nurtured someone very, very special, the King of Kings, Amirul Mu'mineen. So much so that the Quran says that the proof of your legitimacy of prophethood, tell them that enough between us as a witness to how correct and how accurate I am as a prophet is two things: Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Amirul Mu'mineen. Only something special like Islam can create someone like Amirul Mu'mineen. They then, in turn, they nurture other people. Like whom? Like Salman, like Abu Dhar. This is what they had come for. This is where they're trying to get us to. This is where they want us to reach. Yes, of course they do exist to help in the worldly matters as well. But that is by the by. What they are really here for is to create Salmans and Abu Dhars, for example. Someone asked Amirul Mu'mineen, tell me about Abu Dhar. Amirul Mu'mineen tells him that Abu Dhar was a brilliant personality. He achieved his maximum potential. Who can say that they've achieved their maximum potential? Who can say that they have exhausted all efforts and they are at their potential? Amirul Mu'mineen says he achieved his potential. Then he said, tell me about Salman. Amirul Mu'mineen says, what do I tell you about Salman? The one who had ilmul awwaleen wa ilmul akhirin. He had knowledge of the former generations. He had knowledge of the later generations. What do I tell you about Salman? This is why they had come. This is what they are here for. At the time of Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, some of the companions of the sixth Imam, when they used to see the Abbasids with all their pomp and glory and wealth and money, when they used to see the Abbasids in such a rich worldly state, they used to feel sad, they used to feel bad. So on one occasion, Someone saw one of the Abbasid rulers in all this pomp and glory, and he uttered a word. He said, Mata al-Faraj, when is the rescue gonna come? When is this rescue coming? How long do we have to live by seeing these people in their pomp and glory and money and riches? Sixth Imam, he heard this and he replied. He says, you are one of those who desires the world. In other words, you're asking for faraj, you're asking for rescue, you're asking for someone for us, Ahlul Bayt, to come and help you, the faraj. But really and truly, you're asking for something worldly. Your focus is on the world. This is not the ultimate. Now let's go to number 2. The second type of idhtirar. This is idhtirar for the hereafter. This is where a person says, no, I need Imam for my hereafter. We know that we have not been created for this 60, 70, 80, 90 years of life. We know as well that on this road we need a guide. We need someone who knows the road, who knows the rights and wrongs, who has traversed the path, who can tell us the different dangers and the different issues that will come. We know that, for example, the Quran is not enough. We know this. Anyone who tells you that the Quran is enough, I don't know how they can make this statement. The Quran is not enough. Let me give you one example. At the time of Amirul Mu'mineen, Amirul Mu'mineen had an issue, as you know, I won't go into details, as you probably know, with the Khawarij, the Kharijis, Kharijites. Amirul Mu'mineen had an issue with the Khawarij. So who did he send as his mediator in the beginning, before fighting them and annihilating them? He sent Ibn Abbas to them. He tells Ibn Abbas, go to them, put our points across, tell them what we are saying. However, do not debate with them using the Holy Quran. Because they will take one ayat, you will take one ayat. You will present one ayat, they will give another ayat. In the Quran, it's open to interpretation. Today, you see the world, you see the state of Muslims. Where are we? One of the issues is that they've left the interpretation of the Holy Quran to themselves. So each and every Muslim, each and every sect is looking at the Quran. They find a verse on, for example, holy war and killing and these things, and they go at it. And you can see what has happened over the last couple of decades, the kinds of horrible groups that we have seen in the world, ISIS and the like. You've seen this. Where do they get this from? They get this from wrong interpretations of the Holy Quran. Everyone has the Holy Quran. You need a proper interpreter and commentator on the Holy Quran for you to be able to use the Holy Quran. Amirul Mu'mineen says, do not debate with them using the Holy Quran, because you will give one verse, they will give one verse. You will say something, they will say something. It's all open to interpret. Instead, present to them the character of Rasulullah. Instead of that, use the character of Rasulullah. So we know that this world is not the end. We know that we need a guide. We know that the Quran is not enough. Inni tarikun fikum al-thaqalain, kitab Allah wa itrati ahla bayti. We know that the Holy Prophet said that I'm leaving behind, when I leave this world, I'm leaving for you 2 great things. One of them is the Quran, the book of God. One of them is my family. These 2 have to remain together. Lan yaftariqa. They must remain together. They will never be separated. We know this. We know that after the demise of the Holy Prophet, we still need guidance. So this is the role of the Imam. So some people have idhtirar towards the Imam for their ukhravi, akhirat needs. Is it wrong? It's not wrong. It's very, very good to think about your akhirat, to think about your needs of the hereafter is very good. A true mu'min is one who has always one eye on the hereafter. A true mu'min is one who's always thinking about his everlasting life after this world. A true mu'min always thinks about his death and his barzakh and his qayamat. It is not wrong. Some people will say, no, don't do things just for heaven and just for hell. But in Islam, we have so many ahadith and riwayat that, for example, even take the example of Amirul Mu'mineen again. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Take the example of Amirul Mu'mineen again. When he used to dig a well, Amirul Mu'mineen, one of his great physical, tangible ihsanat was that he established so many wells in that area around Medina. Go right now to, for example, the mosque that we go for Ihram, Masjid Shajara in Medina, Masjid Shajara. What is the name of that place? You know, you must be told by your guides every time. Abar Ali, the place of the wells of Ali. Until today it's known as Abar Ali, because he used to, in that area and beyond, establish so many wells. What he would do, this great man, he would establish a well, and then he would take a document and he would do waqf of the well. He would give the well over to the people. So I don't want anything more to do with this. This is for you. This is waqf for you. But he used to write, this is the effort of Ali, son of Abu Talib. May it be a means of shielding his face from the fire of hell. So it's definitely not wrong to do things to stay away from hell and to be rewarded with heaven. Now, in the first level, when I explained the worldly, I gave you the religious explanation, right? The religious explanation was that these worldly things become excuses for which we go towards Allah. Eventually, the goal is that using these excuses and these worldly things, eventually we fall in love with Allah Himself. Then eventually we go to Allah for Allah's sake. Now, what is the religious explanation for this second one? The religious explanation is this. Hell is nothing more than the manifestation of the anger of Allah. What is hell? It's the manifestation of the anger of Allah. No one wants to be under the anger of Allah. No one wants to be punished under the anger of Allah. No one wants to be in a place where there is the anger of Allah. Heaven is what? Heaven is the manifestation of the pleasure of Allah. We always want to be under the pleasure of Allah. This is the religious way of looking at things. We always want to stay away from the anger of God. We always want to be entering the place which is the pleasure of God. So it's not wrong. In fact, it's very good. This has a very big impact upon a person. When a person has idhtirar for the hereafter, it has a very, very positive impact upon them. Let me tell you about Sheikh Murtaza Zahid. Our community has not been introduced to this personality, but he was a fantastic scholar. Sheikh Murtaza Zahid of Tehran. Let's have a loud salawat upon his name, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Sheikh Murtaza Zahid is a very spiritual person, his gatherings, his namaz and these things were very special, and people used to come from all around. You may have seen some videos of the namaz of Ayatollah Bahjat and how spiritually charged that was. Maybe something similar. He was in Tehran. People used to come from far and wide to attend his namaz and his gatherings. Now his practice was what? After namaz, he would give a hadith, he would give a little bit of akhlaqi talk, and he would give one or two masail. And then, Khuda Hafiz, everyone goes home after Maghrib and Isha. On one occasion, he does this, he does what he normally does. He prays the namaz, Maghribain, Isha finishes, he stands up, he gives a hadith, he gives some akhlaqi points, he gives one or two masail. Khuda Hafiz, everyone goes home, he also goes home. When he goes home, he takes the Tawzihul Masail and starts to read. And then he looks at the two masail which he just presented in the mosque. And then he realizes that, oh dear, I have made a mistake. The thing that I presented in the mosque is not exactly accurate according to the Tawzihul Masail. So what he does, he quickly closes the book, puts on his shoes and his clothing. He goes out, he goes to each and every one of those houses of those namazis who had come for namaz, knocks on the door, tells them, Agha, I'm sorry, I had made a mistake. I told you this, but actually the real ruling is this. One of those people who opened the door says, Haj Agha, dear respected Sheikh Murtaza Zahid, why are you so much in a rush to tell us? You would have told us tomorrow. You know, we usually come, the same people usually come. It's a local neighborhood mosque. You know, the same people usually come night after night. You know the crowd. You would have told us, why have you taken extra trouble to come this very night? Why are you in such a rush to tell us? He says, Aziz man, oh my dear brother, maybe you're not in a rush to know, but maybe the angel of death is in a rush to take my soul tonight. Maybe you don't have a rush, but maybe I won't be alive till tomorrow. Then what? Do you see how that feeling of hereafter, of one's hereafter, afterlife, akhirat, gives a person such a level of responsibility, gives a person such a level of taqwa and zuhud. So definitely, having idhtirar in the Imam of the time for one's ukhravi and hereafter needs is definitely not wrong. But still again, there is one level higher than this. However, I'm going to explain that tomorrow. Time nathi. So inshallah that will come tomorrow. What is the third and the very much purest, nicest way of looking at idhtirar? The third type, inshallah, we'll explain tomorrow with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Azizane Girami, are you looking at your feeds and screens of the live pictures from Karbala? You must be. How many millions of people are gathering on that Pak Sarzameen, on that holy land between Najaf and Karbala and other places, but the main walk is Najaf to Karbala. How many millions of Za'ireen are gathering? Do you see, for example, not anyone is going hungry? Do you see, for example, that everyone is fed? Do you see, for example, everyone is given water, given drinks, given massage, given all sorts of things? This is the honor of the people. How many people, they are there, they've established these mokibs and they are serving the Za'ireen. Do you see that? How is this possible? Where is this mu'jiza come from? Azizane Girami, for today's Masa'ib, I'm reciting two things. 2 times when Imam Hussein mentioned and remembered me and you. 2 times Sayyidul Shuhada, Gharib Zahra, mentioned me and you and remembered me and you. The first time, where is this mu'jiza come from? Let me tell you. The first time is when Imam alayhi salam enters into Karbala. He calls the people. He says, tell me, what is the name of this place? They give him one name. They say, for example, Qadiriya. They say, for example, Shattul Furat. They say all these different names of the area. He says, no, bring someone elderly. Bring someone who knows the area better. Let me ask him. They bring an elderly person. He says, you tell me, what is the name of this land? He says, Mawla, this place is called Karbala. Imam says, now we have reached our place, because now we have reached the place of Karb and Bala, sorrow and calamity. Then he calls the tribe, he calls Bani Asad, he says, come, I want to talk to you. They say, Mawla, how can we help? He says, I want to buy this land from you. They said, Mawla, you are the son of Fatima. You are the son of Zahra. If you tell us, we will give you this land. He said, no, I want to buy it from you. They sell the land to Imam Hussein. That land belongs to Abu Abdullah. When you go to Karbala, you are going to the land of Imam Hussein. You are entering the property of Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein is the owner of that land. He says, Ya Bani Asad, O Bani Asad people, I want to buy this land, but I have a request from you. They said, yes, Mawla, tell us. He said, I have 3 requests from you. The first request is this, that after a few days, on the 10th of Muharram, you will see our bodies will be lying on this ground. I request you to come and bury our bodies. They said, yes, Mawla, we will. He said, number 2, once you have buried us, I ask you not to do any irrigation, no farming, no grass, no crops should grow on our graves. They should be known as graves. They should be known where we are buried. They said, Mawla, we agree. And then Azadaran of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, your Mawla remembered you. Your Mawla had you in his mind. Your Mawla remembered you. Gharib Zahra, who had nothing in Karbala, he remembered all of us. He says, Bani Asad, one more request from me, and that is this: a day will come and a time will come when my lovers will come here for my ziyarat. I ask you, when they come here, give them food, give them water. Don't let them go hungry. Don't let them go thirsty. Azizan-e Muhtaram, Mawla Imam Hussain remembered you. He remembered me. Today the mu'jiza you are seeing is the du'as of Imam Hussain, is the instruction of Abu Abdullah. This is the first time he remembered us. Now the second time, listen. Those of you who have a heart, listen to the words of the second time Imam Hussain remembered us. When was that? This was on Sham-e Ghariba. This was on Sham-e Ghariba. What happened? They say, the daughter of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, the Mazluma, Bibi Sakina, when she was at the body of Abu Abdullah, Bibi Zainab is looking for her. When she finds her and she speaks to her, Janab Sakina narrates that I heard my father's voice and he was reciting a poem. Janab Zainab said, what was he reciting? One of the lines is this, and he mentioned us all in this line. He says, oh my Shias, ليتكم في يوم عاشوراء جميعا تنظروني. If only you had been there on the day of Ashura, you would have seen كيف أستسقي لطفلي فأبوا أن يرحموني. How I was asking for water for my baby Ali Asghar and they refused to give me any water. Allah la'natullahi al-qawmi al-zalimin. Mata